Yo, Sean Phoenix here, the punk rock pyromaniac. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has put a stop to some of my bookings, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could check out my Pro Wrestling Tees store at prowrestlingtees.com/XSeanXPhoenix. That's X before Sean, that's X before Phoenix. That's also my social media. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, AOL Instant Messenger, it doesn't matter, it's the same for anything. You're watching Wrestling with Regret.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Smackdown review here on Wrestling with Regret. My name is Alex, your self-proclaimed queen of the ring, and this week's episode of Smackdown was yet again at the Performance Center, and we're only 2 weeks away from a 2-night WrestleMania event. So how did it all play out? Well, let's just jump right into it. So we opened up the show this week with Rob Gronkowski, the host of our 2-night WrestleMania event. But thankfully, King Corbin comes out and interrupts him. And I guess they had a back and forth, or I guess you could call that a back and forth. And then Elias interrupts, thankfully. And Rob Gronkowski says, you know, I'm not really allowed to do this being the host of WrestleMania, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think you guys should have a match at WrestleMania. Why be the host? Why be the host of WrestleMania if you're not allowed to make matches? You kind of are allowed to make matches. And that's a match where obviously Rob Gronkowski is going to interrupt somehow, special guest referee, somehow help Elias, somehow against King Corbin. King Corbin has done a pretty damn good job being the biggest heel in the company. And for him to get this at WrestleMania, I know we're probably scrapping and just making it up as we go. This segment was a good confirmation that anything Rob Gronkowski is going to do at WrestleMania is going to be a cringe fest. Following that, we have a tag match. Daniel Bryan teams up with Drew Gulak to take on Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, with Sami Zayn, of course, along for the ride. But this stable has a name: the Artist Collective. What do we think about that? It's all right. It's okay for now. But this tag match was good. Definitely match of the night. Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan. I'm loving what they're doing together. They're good. Their storyline, their feud with Shinsuke and Cesaro, although maybe to some may seem a little boring, I actually like it. I think it might be the best thing that's happening on the SmackDown roster right now. And Sami Zayn on commentary, dude, he's so good. He's such a good manager, wrestler manager, whatever he is. The head of this Artist Collective, he is gold. I'm loving what he's doing. I'm loving that Drew Gulak is getting some shine. He's in a match with Cesaro, and he's so good. Dude, okay. So then, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak get the win. This was a good match. And after the match, we see Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak stretching backstage. Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro go up to them. They have a few exchanges, a few words here and there. And Sami Zayn continues to call Drew Gulak a nobody. And Drew Gulak pretty much has enough of it. But before that, Sami Zayn challenged Daniel Bryan to a match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. But before Sami Zayn can accept that challenge, he wants to see what Drew Gulak is all about. So next week, we are getting Shinsuke Nakamura versus Drew Gulak. And if Drew Gulak wins, Daniel Bryan will go on to WrestleMania to face Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, on paper, that sounds amazing. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. That's going to be a great match. But what I would have loved even more if Daniel Bryan just offered his place and he said, you know what? No, I shouldn't go for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. It should be Drew Gulak. I would have loved that. And then Drew Gulak would have won at WrestleMania. I'm seeing that there's a possibility Daniel Bryan might win at WrestleMania, but that match with Drew Gulak and Sami Zayn, that's the real WrestleMania match I want. But I guess we'll just have to wait to see what happens next week. Following that, we have a women's segment. We have Paige via Skype come out, and then she gets interrupted by Bayley and Sasha. They come out to the ring, and they poke fun at Paige. And it was a little... Oh, maybe this is just me, but it was kind of a little tiny bit cringy when they were talking about her career, and the person that pretty much ended her career was in the ring. This was a good segment. Bayley really turned it up during this segment, and Paige is always brilliant, and she announced her WrestleMania opponents for the SmackDown Women's title, and it is going to be Tamina, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. Then we see a little interaction with Sasha Banks and Bayley, and it kind of seems like maybe Sasha Banks is kind of loving the idea of her being in this title match, and maybe we'll get full-blown heel Sasha Banks. One could hope. Following that, they showed the Bray Wyatt and John Cena match at WrestleMania 30. A reminder that that was a good match, but also Luke Harper, Brody Lee was on SmackDown and AEW in the same week. You kind of love to see it. Following that, we have a backstage segment with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and pretty much Alexa Bliss calls out Asuka for attacking her last week, and she invites her to come to SmackDown next week, and so they will have a match together. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. I'm guessing to build up a match between the Kabuki Warriors and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And we're probably going to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the women's tag titles at WrestleMania. Following that, we have The Miz and Morrison coming out with the Dirt Sheet segment. And they're on the Dirt Sheet segment talking about how they have no challengers, yet on social media earlier today, it was announced that they were going to have a non-title match against Heavy Machinery. Like, where's the consistency? Where's the continuity? Like, you can't come out and say that you have no challengers when you had a match announced earlier today. But they did something clever and took advantage of their no audience rule and pre-recorded Miz and Morrison in everybody else's gimmick. Dressed up as the Usos, dressed up as the New Day and Heavy Machinery, and claimed that they just didn't have any challengers and that they should have the night off. But then Heavy Machinery arrives for their scheduled match. It was an all right match. The focus was primarily on Otis and Dolph Ziggler's feud against each other. Dolph Ziggler comes out, interrupts the match, and shows off all his pictures that he took with Mandy Rose when he should have been self-isolating because of the coronavirus. Dolph Ziggler, what the hell? Otis is fed up. He runs after Ziggler, but misses him. He gets pretty upset, takes a chair, and disqualifies himself and Tucker from the match. That was a non-title match anyway, so it didn't really matter. You know, this match was okay, but the main focus was just on Otis and Ziggler, so that was all right. It moved their feud along a little bit more, and that's definitely a match that we're getting at WrestleMania. Hopefully, Otis goes over and we get that payoff, baby. Following that, we have a contract signing with Goldberg and Roman Reigns. And Goldberg comes out, and then they both toss the chair. There's like a table and the chair set up in front of them, and they both toss the chair at the same time, waiting for each other's cues. Pretty cute. Michael Cole hypes up the match, and he brings up a tweet Roman tweeted out earlier this year about headbutting a door and how stupid that would be. Obviously, that's a shot towards Goldberg. And this exchange was hilarious. Well, my interpretation of Goldberg's words next were more towards the line of like, listen, kid, I know it's stupid, but I've been doing it for years. Therefore, I'm better than you. So let's sign the contract of this match. Like what? Like he acknowledges that it's stupid, kind of, but like, listen, I've been doing it for years. Come have this match with me. I'm stupid. And Goldberg throws the table and they practice the best social distancing ever and get in each other's face. And that was that. That was the episode of this week's SmackDown. So what do we think? What are our overall thoughts? If I were to give this SmackDown a grade, I would give it a C. I'd give it a C. Pros and cons for this episode. Pro is definitely going to have to be Drew Gulak, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro. Everything that those guys are doing, I'm loving it. That's definitely a pro. Another pro would definitely have to be that women's segment. I thought Bayley shined pretty bright during that segment. Sasha, she kind of seemed like she had a little something up her sleeves. And Paige has always been good on the mic. And Paige has always been a great general manager. When she was the Jennifer manager, that's what I was going to say. What? When she was the general manager of SmackDown, she was great. And she was probably the best general managers that we've seen in recent time. I would like to see her come back, but you never know. Maybe. And the con for me this week is definitely going to have to be Rob Gronkowski. We could go ahead and just call that a con if he's going to be on SmackDown next week. Because dude, I can't take it. Also, with his energy and teaming up with Mojo Rawley, like, he better be doing just main event and all this jobber mumbo jumbo shit. Like, I don't want to see him or Mojo Rawley go after the tag titles, any tag titles, whether it's SmackDown or Raw, before the B team. The B team deserves it more than you, Rob Gronkowski. And that about wraps it up for this week's SmackDown review. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. And while you're down in the description box, the link for my channel, Queen of the Ring, will be below. So make sure to subscribe to that and give this video a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm at _Queen of the Ring on Instagram. And I'm at a Queen of the Ring on Twitter. As always, everyone, my name is Alex, your self-proclaimed Queen of the Ring. Wash your hands, and I will see you next week for another SmackDown review. Bye, guys.